All right, let's get crazy. Let's get crazy with it today. It's not just chest. Today's lifts will not just be chest. I'm going to add just a touch of side delts as well. Now, am I going to do 10 die hard balls to the wall sets of side laterals to failure? Probably not. Probably freaking not. Though, if I were trying to actually fucking, grow my shoulders, if that was my goal, then yeah, I mean, that's what I fucking do, right? But shoulder wise, at least compared to my build, they don't need much more work. But I think it's kind of foolish to just completely neglect them for like months on end. Like, you got to pump it up every so often, right? Get your gears turning, your fluids flowing, and whatnot. So I think I'll probably just add a little bit on maybe the halfway mark on chest, because I don't want to finish chest, do a pose down and then come back and do shoulders and then pose down again. I think I'll end up just kind of supersetting some side laterals in the lift itself. So probably a few sets of chest to start, and then in between, maybe just scurry over to the dumbbells, grab like the 40s, the 30s, whatever else, burn out. I'm just gonna get a side delt pump. I think that'll be just enough for me. A little extra something or other on top, some sprinkles, and then that'll be the end of it. So, in terms of morning weight, dude, 255. Holy shit! What happened? I just dropped 2 pounds out of nowhere. I'm not freaking. I am not freaking. This is one thing that you gotta bulking or dieting down. This is something that having a good grasp on is going to kind of give you a little bit more. Let's just say, I mean, honestly, kind of quality of life. Depending on how serious and like crazy into it you are, a couple pound fluctuation on whether you're trying to diet up or down could really like fucking. It really gets into some people's heads. But don't worry, day by day, dude, a 2 pound jump and a 2 pound crash don't even freak. It'd be a little bit different if you were like an actual like bodybuilder, like prepping, like it's your peak week. You're actually like you need to be this certain weight. That's a little bit different. You got to be very strict about it because if not, you're literally going to be too heavy for your weight class. But for the most part, if you're just trying to diet down for fat loss purposes or bulk up for muscle gaining purposes, then don't stress it. Now, what you need to really look at, and what I think the people who actually make dieting like body composition changes can do, is actually see changes on a week to week basis. When you hop on the scale on Monday, you were 200, then Tuesday you were 201, then Wednesday you were 202, then Thursday you were 200. Still waiting for the caffeine to hit me. And then Thursday, you're 205. Holy shit! And then, it ended up that you're back at like 203 or whatever. You're trying to bulk up. You got day by day, you've got this crazy fluctuation. Just because that's what's going to happen, man. Depending on your fluid intake and like your meal timings and like if I ate a massive meal right before bed, odds are that's not going to have completely passed through my system by the time I wake up. And then I'm going to be a little bit extra heavy just because I have like legit food weight inside my belly. So don't freak on the day by day weight fluctuations. Now, week by week, you need to see some changes. Week by week, if you don't see a trend line developing, then that means that something is off kilter, something is off axis, and you gotta adjust according. So odds are, I think the majority of times that people's weight composition goals aren't being reached can probably, I don't know, maybe 8 out of 10 times be solved with either more or less calorie intake. Not being able to eat enough food is the only barrier that's going to stop me from growing anymore towards the end of this bulk. And eating too much food is the only thing stopping everybody from not losing, body fat, right? So that's where for some it's a little bit of an unfortunate reality, especially. Oh, I mean, this is a hard situation to do a full 180 around, But it's like I know you've seen the videos where these guys they seem to be very adamant. This mainly like TikTok stuff where they're like, counting calories is actually fat phobic, and it has nothing to do with your body fat composition. You know, if you want to lose body fat, exercise in a calorie deficit, that's not going to work for you. That's not going to work for you. What you need to do, and then they list off like 3 minutes of, or 1 minute of like the silliest shit that I've ever heard. And I say, wow, I've been doing things all wrong. Next dieting phase, I think I'm going to drink apple cider vinegar and not mix my carbs with my fats. That's what I'll do. And then that'll make me get lean, you know? So I, uh, I mean, yeah, I guess I do mean to be a little condescending there because I'm such a diehard fucking calories in, calories out believer. And that's not for no reason, man. You know, I've got a pretty solid, let's just say, evidence. I got solid evidence that it works because I've gone up and down in terms of body fat and weight pretty frequently. And all I ended up doing was no fancy pants tricks or whatever. It's just I got my whole day where I'm going to be eating food. So in that period of time, if I'm trying to diet down, I have to eat only so much. And if I'm trying to bulk up, then I have to eat a certain amount at least. And if I can't do that, then the scale stops moving, you know? Now, that's not the only answer to that equation. Your activity level, your baseline, like um, appetite level is all going to come to play. But don't just immediately jump to say, like, oh, well, I've got a fast metabolism, or I've got thyroid problems, or I've got blank, 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 blank. Those things exist, but that's like 1% of people. You know, I don't mean to dog on anybody right now, but what do you think the real percentage of people who are over, they not, I don't want to even say overweight, but people who have more body fat on their frame than they would like? You know, what percentage of those people actually do have a legitimate like thyroid type sort of issue, which would legitimately just be the cause of the problem, versus the amount of people who are just not locked in, you know? And I think it's a pretty big fucking discrepancy. I'm talking like lower single digit percentages to like, 20ish or so. Or like the upper 90s, right? Now, that's kind of sucks. Definitely sucks to hear. But that's what that's why it's hard, man. But I will when it comes to the dieting side of things, especially making legit changes, it is hard. But it's not complicated. I would say that it's difficult, but it's not complicated. You know, I was just talking to somebody at the Planet Fitness last night. I forget his name, but he was telling me like, what should I? I'm doing all my cardio. What should I be doing? Like a counting your calories and everything. He's like, you goddamn right I am. I believed him. He seemed like a trustworthy guy. But I think a good starting point for anybody is you got to just look up a maintenance calorie calculator. Now, this isn't an exact like number output because the computer doesn't exactly know, your entire physiology. But look it up, online or just maintenance calorie calculator. It is going to be like biased towards like working out, muscle growth, dieting, bulking, everything else. And then you plug in your gender, fucking height, age, your activity level. Just it'll ask you a couple things, but pretty much just like how big are you? How old are you? Are you a dude? Do you work out a lot? And that's it. And then it'll pump out. You put in all that data. Let's say I'm Douglas. I'm an 18-year-old guy. I'm 160 pounds. I'm 10% body fat. I work out 4 times a week right now. You plug all that data in, and then it's going to pump out 3 numbers. Actually, some of them do a little bit more, but for the most part, it'll say either your maintenance calories, your bulking calories, or cutting calories. And then like some of them will say like, some of them actually say 5 calorie recommendations or macro like recommendations. It's like steep deficit, fast fat loss, like mild fat loss, maintenance, mild bulking phase, like heavy bulking phase. It kind of gives you this little discrepancy, And like I said, it's not exact because that information does not tell your whole story. If you're a fidgety kind of guy, if like every day you're just constantly like fucking bouncing your knees, moving around, whatever, that can actually account for a pretty serious amount of calories for the whole day. And then if you're trying to gain weight, You know, you who are maybe a little bit more fidgety, like moving around, you're getting extra steps compared to somebody who's a bit more, let's just say, chilling, you know, very still. The calorie, they could be the same size, the same activity level, but that guy could burn 200 more calories across the whole day. You know, so it's a good starter point. And then take whatever amount of calories that ends up being, and you have to try it out for yourself. You know, so if you want to diet down, plug in all that data, actually try to figure out how to make like you know, it'll end up telling you like, okay, 180 grams of protein, maybe like 70 grams of fat, and like 150 grams of carbs, or like 200 grams of carbs, whatever. It'll tell you that many grams of everything that you should eat for the whole day. And a really good way to go about it in terms of sizing those meals out is just take whatever amount that is, divide it by, I mean, however many meals you're used to eating. You know, and then if you're dieting, you're gonna have to chill out on the snacks because it's kind of hard to add those in unless you're constantly like plugging shit into your phone, which I do, which you know I like, but it is a little bit of a chore. So let's say you've got 150 grams of protein for the whole day, or 100, let's just say 160 for math's sake, and you want to eat 4 meals across the whole day: breakfast, lunch, early dinner, dinner, bed. Then each meal should have 40 grams of protein, you know, and however many grams of fat it says, divide that by 4, try it. So get this kind of meal timing thing tried out, do that for a little bit. And then the real factor, which is going to show you like, is this working, is this not working, is that you should be weighing yourself on the scale every morning after going to the bathroom, completely kind of emptying out your system, because that's the most repetitive way to actually weigh yourself. If somebody gets on the scale at the end of the day, I mean that value pretty much means nothing. You know, you could have an extra 10 pounds on your frame if you were dehydrated the day before, and then now you're extra hydrated with a belly full of food. You know, so right in the morning is your best bet. So you do that, plug that into a Google Sheets. I know this sucks, it's a lot of shit, but you plug it into like a Google Sheets. You just write it down on paper. You know, either way, and then see if you see any changes. You know, let's say you lock it into your 2,000 calorie a day diet. You do those 4 meals, or maybe make it 5 smaller meals. Typically, the more meals evenly spread out, the better. You're not going to be so hungry all the time, I think. But that's kind of something you can figure out on your own. But let's say you do that, you're not cheating, and you know you're not cheating. You know, let's be ideal here. You do 2,000 calories for 2 weeks. You're tracking your morning weight every morning, no clothes, no pants, no nothing, all just pure body weight, and you see, holy crap, on like of course it's going to be a daily fluctuation, but the trend line, I'm down 3 pounds. Whoa, dude. All right, and then just kind of keep going until your desired leanness has been acquired. Now there is a little bit of a caveat to that, and that's the fact that the leaner you get, the harder you have to diet. Is this what the, I'm turning left, but somebody was not driving. But so when you're dieting down, it actually gets harder to continue getting leaner, because I mean, think about this, man. If a guy is like 100 pounds heavier than I am, then not even doing any extra calories, not even doing any extra fucking anything, just by having that much muscle on his frame and his body having to fucking breathe in and oxygenate it all and keep it all working, that guy's gonna have to eat more fucking food. So the reverse, as you get lighter, you're gonna have to actually eat less calories. So if you find that you're losing a pound, almost maybe a pound and a half a week, you're dieting pretty steadily, everything's working, and then after like a month or two, you realize like, oh crap, I've been at 190 for like a month straight. What's going on here? Dieting plateaued, or dieting plateaus are very real. So that would be an instance where you got to say, fuck. All right, I'm cutting 50 grams of carbs off the top. And then, you know, keep going until you get the amount of abs that you want, man. That's all I can say there. But we're here. Let's get started, God damn it. Sam, why don't you have 5 big ones on this machine? Why are there not 5 plates on this machine? And I tell you what, I want to do a little bit of lighter squeezing activity. I feel like I'm on such a heavy set kick. I mean, these past like 4 days, legs, back, well, hamstrings are still really heavy, but like chest, everything, really squeezing focused.
It feels pretty good. Not that I'm like totally uprooting my style or anything, but I'm going to start with more of a, well, I really do kind of want to say nasty set of chest, because for me to, like when I finish my chest days, when I do like sets of cable flies or like lighter cable pressing like this, there's just a burn that comes along with it that I don't get from the heavier ones. Now, of course, I don't get that like insane tension on the muscle that I do with the heavy ones. But in the spirit of changing things up, let's be moderate with the weight and insane with the intensity. So let's just get amped up and throw this shit around. Oh my god. Whoa. Oh. Yeah. I think a good way to think about it is the continuum of effort which you can exert on a set is either here or here. Like these are the two things keeping you from doing another rep. If you're going really heavy, you just physically can't do it. Like you reach a point where you just physically cannot even move it. Well, you don't get that burn. Whereas with lighter weight, you can still kind of muster up some fucking power, but the actual burning sensation's really fighting you. But a couple more here, man. That was nasty. Okay, 3 more. Oh my god. Thank you. Might do a drop set for the next one. That was nasty though. Let's make it pause reps or rest pause slash drop set. Oh. Yeah. 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 Oh my god. Oh. Let's do something cable related. Those were a badass 3 starter sets though. Okay, this will be a slightly light-ish set of bent over cable press. Very similar to the machine press that was the first movement. You know, the point necessarily isn't the tension I feel when I'm coming down. It's really squeezing and burning at the bottom. Big stretch, and the blood flow, all sorts of whatever. Squeezing it. You know, like that. Yeah. Scoot you back a little. Actually, wait, this song fucking sucks. What the fuck is this? Discover Weekly is, it's rare. It's been rare that it's a really good recommendation playlist. Yeah. 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 So. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. Ah. One more. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. I'm not done yet. Let's drop the weight a little. Do some decline flies. Let's see. Yeah. 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 Okay. Whew. All right. Even though I was bent over, you can reach a point, I feel, where you can actually like manually work more front delt than like lower pec or upper pec, I mean. So when I'm bending over doing flies, I'm really trying to squeeze up here. So that's just now the contrast to the upper chest press and the decline fly. That was really good. I don't think there's need for much more. A little bit more pressing though, that's for sure. If this is really good, this could be the last set, but maybe not. We'll find out. Let me pick a better song though. Yeah. 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 Okay. No. No, that's not it. Let's go do something else. I don't actually really like this that much. No. I lied. I found it. What am I talking about? I should just come and done this instead of that machine press. I know I like this one, but this might be the finisher. I'll decide. I'm like this close to feeling like I've done enough, but I'm not there yet. And that's not just a mental thing either. Like, I'm not thinking in my head, like, okay, I did some pressing, I did some flies, I did some cable press, I did machine press. Like, that's enough. No, I'm kind of basing this off of like literally how my chest feels, pump, fatigue, everything. So there's definitely room for some more, let's just say, progressive or progress inducing volume. But if I try to do like another 10 sets, I don't think that'd be the case. So only a couple more. Okay. I think that's enough. Let's go pose down, goddamn. Yeah. So I guess I don't know what I was talking about. Adding some shoulders in. A little bit too focused on the chest portion. Let's turn this exposure down a little bit. So, how many sets was that exactly? I'm trying to remember. I think it was 3 sets of the hammer strength press, 3 sets of those, 2 of the cables, 1 of that other machine. Then, 7 working sets. I mean, that's about right. And at least for me, historically, that's been enough volume where, as long as all the sets are hard and like, pretty much to failure, when I do that much, fuck, man, I'm fully pumped. I feel like I'm done. So let's run through a couple here and then roll. No need to hide. This isn't not a Planet Fitness today. Oh my God. Oh, holy shit, dude. Dude, holding fucking chest poses with a chest pump is a chore in and of itself. Let's get one more most muscular. All right. I think that's fucking all. But I certainly feel like a lunk. Let's just go home and eat, man. Chest day done. Oh, looking a little warm with the lighting there. Let's get a little bit cooler. You know I'm not doing none of that auto white balance bull crap. Let's be real, we're shooting manual. But chest, dude, that was fucking nasty. Damn, I really wish I could, when I take a picture of like a little camera screen when I'm looking at the pose down, I wish it would turn out a little bit better. It's always really kind of pixelated. But now that I record every fucking pose down, especially with the fancy pants lens and everything, I feel like I get to see my pump twice, because you really do look at yourself in 2 different ways. When I'm looking at myself, really just like in person, I'm literally looking at myself in the mirror versus, from the little like clipped pictures from the videos, so that's kind of extra fun. But I'm really starting to feel like we're bulking now, especially after that chest day with that pump. Dude, that was nasty. And then one thing, which, fuck, man, I think it's going to make me chill out on my fucking weight for chest, which I've always known this. I mean, it's, there's literally a limit to the amount of weight that is going to be necessary, at least for a bodybuilding context. Oh, this guy just cut me off. But, I mean, if I get another 20 pounds heavier, is it really going to be good for me to try to do like 4 plates on incline barbell for for all my working sets. And then what am I supposed to do? Just keep going up from there indefinitely until I'm a world record bench presser? No chance, man. That's not how it works. But today, after that whole chest day, with all the pressing and the incline and everything, I got 0 front delt activation, which is one of my biggest gripes, not gripes, but let's just say problems with my chest training, is I naturally have a bit of a hunch. I'm not naturally fucking walking around with this posture. Like I've got a little bit of this going on. So when I press, I have to really kind of manually think about like pulling my shoulders back so I'm not using too much front delts. So today, since everything is a little bit lighter, more controlled, really squeezing, it was all fucking chest. No shoulder activation at all. Which that is what I'm here for. I don't need my pecs to grow to match the fucking delts on the side. But damn, even no pump, especially the first fucking side chest shot with the shoulder striations. Oh my goodness, dude, that makes me extra excited to see what I'll look like, like absolutely diced. Like I get lean when I diet down between bulks. I'm lean, but I'm not diced because that's kind of beyond. Right, if I'm not dieting for a show, I'm just dieting to like reset my system for the next bulk. There's just no need to get that lean. It's actually kind of counterproductive because I'm spending extra long dieting, and I'm just gonna I'm just gonna put the body fat back on in like a month, you know. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's off in the horizon. That's beyond the sunset. That's for later. So until then, right, in my mind, it makes a lot of sense to just fucking grind, grow, and then literally have the muscle mass that I want before I start to trim down. I've definitely noticed this compared to about 2 years ago, and 2 years ago and beyond, really mainly like a year and a half ago or so. I saw a lot of guys posting where they were like, it was like a really like a beginner lifter, like somebody early on in their journey. I'm like 170 pounder, which nothing wrong with that if you're a beginner lifter, but these guys were really trying to get like as lean as possible without having built up much of a frame or a baseline at all yet. Now, the only instance in which I think really jumping into a deficit in your lifting fitness journey is a good move is if you've seriously just got a ton of body fat on you in general. But other than that, if you're just walking around, let's say like maybe 20-25% body fat or below, odds are, as a beginner, make use of your beginner gains and just fucking grind. Really lift hard. And also, I mean, you don't have to seriously lock in your diet yet either, because if you're a beginner lifter, newbie gains are going to be pretty fucking strong. So it gives you a nice buffer period before you really need to start like actually making sure you're hitting your calories every day. Because the beginner lifter, just working out hard and eating when he's hungry, dude, that's going to be enough to make some solid starter gains. Now, over the course of time, you're going to have to get into your diet a little bit more if you want to continue those gains. But, that'll just kind of that'll just come as time progresses, man. The longer you work out, the easier it'll be to get into it, and the more that you'll literally just want to try to improve everything that you can to make your gains. So it just kind of happens, right? As long as you're fucking consistent, right? The more anybody gets into anything, the more they kind of want to optimize the whole setup. You can only play Warzone with your Dell mouse for long enough before you start looking up Logitech Razer gaming mice with the side buttons, and you're like, holy crap. Mom, can I have your credit card? You know what I'm saying there? But no, that was a good chest day. That was I'm excited to get home so I can plug the fucking SD card into my computer so I can actually really see those poses, because those were really fucking solid. So all I gotta do now is chow down and chill. Honestly, that is really the fucking the peak situation after a lift in a bulking context. So what else is there to discuss? I don't know, man. Not fucking much. Not fucking much, though. For targeted towards my high school to young adult audience, anybody still in in grad school or whatever else, or I guess you wouldn't call it undergrad school, would you? whatever, college or uni or university for any of my overseas viewers. School's coming up, man. School is coming up. And odds are you're going to be extra busy during that period. So that's where you got to get your priorities straight. That's where you well, I mean, it just really, this is not rhetorical, but it literally just kind of depends on like what do you really want to do, you know? Because there's basically three things that you need to have balanced. Your day-to-day business, right? Be it work, be it school, be it whatever. And you got to get your shit done. Let's assume this is a lifter. The gym, hitting your workouts, and then also outside of the gym, you know, making sure you're getting a reasonable amount of sleep and eating all your meals and fucking sleeping. Or I already said sleeping, and fucking drinking all your water and staying hydrated and whatever else. And making sure you have enough time in your day to actually be consistent, like have a specific time where you're going to go to the gym on the regular. You know, I'm kind of sporadic with my day. Like sometimes I lift early, sometimes I lift later. But the more consistent you can be, like, okay, it's 4 o'clock, I'm leaving right now. That makes it very easy, you know, because once something sort of becomes a habit, dude, it becomes so much fucking easier to do, right? But you got to deal with your normal fucking everyday shit, the gym itself, and then also fun. You know, hanging out with your bros, playing games, doing whatever the fuck you want to do to like kind of chill and enjoy your life. You know, this I'm no Alex Hormozy, bro. It's not all grinding. You got to be able to enjoy as well. And depending on, you know, you specifically, you got to kind of make a decision there on how you want to balance everything out, because obviously the fun part down here, hanging out, chilling, really just hanging out, chilling, that's pretty fun. That's honestly probably the most fun for everybody. You know, I love it. But, you know, fast forward, every action that you take and everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, it does not only affect you right now, right? It affects you in the fucking future, right? So that's where you kind of have to have a little bit of an understanding of like delayed gratification, or maybe not even delayed gratification, more like what's a good word here? Delayed. Oh, I'm trying to really say this correctly. Delayed. Well, there's cause and effect, man. You know, and in terms of your day-to-day activities, sometimes that cause and effect has a long-term. Let's just say long-term rate of return in a way. So what I mean by that is, you know, if you know somebody where, I mean, I'm sure this happens a lot. It's definitely happened with me. I've seen guys where we've been kind of grinding, working at the same time, even similar results. You know, like I haven't always been a fucking freak show. I used to be a 160 pounder, dude. So even going from like that 160 pounds to like 180 pounds, I've still got all those like graphs on my Google Drive. I should probably try to pull that stuff up and really kind of analyze it or whatever. But even just going from 160 to 180, like beginner lifter, like within, I think I got to 180 within a year. Yeah, definitely within a year. I need to give me some time, but I got to go back and like find my old iPod and like old iPhone 5 had the 5S, I think, and really kind of make a full like transformation from beginning to current. But even back then, you know, just fucking natural lifting, you know, not even really caring about my diet too much yet. Like I'd make sure every time I had a turkey sandwich, I had like a pretty thick amount of fucking turkey on it. But other than that, I mean, it was just really working out, going hard, you know. And we've all been there. I remember back when I was doing gymnastics at the time. That was a big chunk of my time when I was like I think like 12 to like 16 or so. That was like a 4-year chunk. Really fucking cool. But I remember in the summertime, me and one of my buddies there named Michael, we'd always talk about like, okay, I'm gonna start going to the gym this year. I'm gonna really start getting jacked. And we were especially kind of hyped up because we had an older guy named Connor. He ended up being like a real fucking professional, like a college scholarship, everything. The dude is especially for us then, 160-pound teenage kids. And this guy, like, he was only like 19 at the time or whatever, but the dude was fucking huge, like big ass arms, everything. So we'd always be like, dude, we gotta get like Connor, man. I'm gonna work out this summer for real. And we'd always say it, and we never did it.
We never ended up actually doing it. You know, we just do the workouts that we were doing. We never actually ended up fucking locking in gym wise. And then eventually, right, if you're the type of guy where you ended up actually doing it, you make a real year of gains. That's a massive fucking separating action to somebody who didn't, you know? So who do you think gets to kind of enjoy that a little bit more, right? So if you've got the itch, and I'm not saying that everyone needs to be jacked. You know, I may come across that way because I mean that would be pretty fucking cool, but I'm definitely not saying that, you know. But what I am saying, or what I try to say a lot, is if you have that little itch in the back of your mind, if you've got that little desire where you're like, yeah, I should probably get in fucking shape, man, you know, because like everybody has some time. I can guarantee you've got an hour a day you could spend doing something. And it doesn't even have to be going to the gym. You could literally grab like I don't know how much it would cost. Weights are kind of fucking expensive. But if you just grabbed like 30-pound dumbbells, that was all you. And I mean, honestly, if you know somebody who doesn't even work out, this could be a pretty massive gift in terms of starting somebody down a fitness journey. Let's say you got a teenage son. You're one of my older viewers, dude. If you give him a 30-pound set of dumbbells, just put him in the dude's room. That could fucking start everything. You know, when I was a kid, we had a. I remember like being like 10 or something, or in the crawl space, we had a weight set, like a scrappy barbell, 300 pounds of plates, and every so often we just fuck around and like bring the barbell out to the basement living room and like just bench the bench the barbell, like just messing around. But that, I mean, who knows? Maybe that was a fucking seed that ended up kind of growing bigger. And you know, my dad also had a dumbbell set in the basement, like fives to fifties. So I remember it was after I had quit doing gymnastics, so that was like a 3 hour like period of every day pretty much, except for like Sundays. So I had to fill that time with something. So I had the 30-pound dumbbells sitting in my room next to my desk on the carpet, and I'd just be, you know, sitting playing Fortnite, fucking doing homework or whatever, writing essays. I remember I was taking a humanities class that I really hated. All sorts of just mumbo jumbo, whatever. But you know, if you're just sitting at your desk, every so often, man, I just fucking stand up, grab them. I had a mirror too, so I'm watching myself do the curls. I'm a 150-pound kid at the time, and I think I probably started with just the 25s, or maybe I grabbed the 30s. I don't know. It was like that was enough where I could only do like maybe 15 with that much though. I just fucking curl them, man, and I did that for like probably a few weeks, and then eventually I started watching some. One of my buddies, Brandon, got me into Callum von Moger. He was like the first guy, like bodybuilder wise, that I was really watching. So, you know, of course, I bought a bunch of like Team von Moger stringers and fucking tanks and stuff. But eventually, I convinced my dad to not even convince. He was happy about it, but he bought us a little like weight rack in the basement, like the same one in any of the home gym videos. I guess it's not my home now. I'm kind of moved out, but you know, eventually, we kind of had the dumbbell set up on like the horse mats. So I would do some home gym workouts, and I'm like, all right, well, let's get real. We got to go to the real gym. So it all just started from right there, man. You know, so that could be it. That could just be it. Just curling a dumbbell every so often could lead to all this. You know, whether that's a good or a bad thing. So plan for the post-workout. Post-workout meal. I got some Chipotle earlier today. So I got 2 packs of 3 soft tacos. I'm talking flour tortilla, rice, queso, cheese, and steak. Kind of basic there, but you know, the bare necessities: fats, carbs, proteins, everything else. So I've got one more pack of 3 sitting in the fridge. I'll probably just like eviscerate in about 1 second. And then I think I'll do some rice and steak as well. That'll be a good finisher. But getting a little, not bored, but it's like, man, I've watched a lot of shows, but I'm like not, none of the other really big TV shows that I want to watch are like really kicking me to actually start them. I watched Severance. That was really cool. I feel like I already talked about that, but worth mentioning again. I really can't wait for season 2, whether that's being worked on or not. You know, I've seen every fucking big anime. I was really grinding through those. I remember I was back when One Piece was still dubbed. I would just end up playing episodes of One Piece when I was working out. That was way fucking back. I'm talking Alabasta days. But I know Game of Thrones is good. I'll get there eventually. I'll fucking get there eventually. So I think that's all I gotta fucking say, man. Well, I'll do a little Q&A within the coming days. I'll post that somewhere. Sometimes I post those not on like the YouTube account though. Sometimes I make a post on like TikTok or the Twitter, just so it's because those don't blow up as big, and then it's a little bit more like selective with the questions. But I'll get one of those going soon. And then I think we're far overdue for a full day of eating. So get ready for some rice, oatmeal, cream of wheat, steaks, ground beefs, eggs, treats, a little bit of treats, of course. Those are not going all the way away, but the ratio of solid meals to treat meals, or I guess you could say cheat meals, it's getting a little bit more normal, I tell you what. And I think I'm gonna reap the fucking rewards from doing so as well. But only time will tell there. So home, food, sleep, repeat. That's really it, man. So I'll see you tomorrow for. I think it's a forearm day. I might add some other stuff too. I guess we'll find out.